Hi, about my blanket. So, like I said, we're gonna kind of take this apart. What I had just read. Um, I'm just very an emotional person. Okay, for one. Two, I already dealt with these things. I will always feel the compassion for Lani, my younger self, or for anyone who shares their story with me. So, just so you know, I'm not going through all of this sporadically. It's not like I'm there where I am not her, but I'm proud of her, very proud of her. So I love the fact that she says, I mean, very truthful with herself. She's still very much a child, but that's, just realizing, just being able to go, I thought I had grown so much and now I realize, nah, it's at least she's looking at where she's at and trying to figure it out. Pausing and really assessing, you know, why she feels that way. And it's funny because why she feels that way is really because she says a child scared of the world. So she associates being scared with being a child. Um, and scared of what may come tomorrow. Obviously, it was because she didn't know. She never knew what would come tomorrow. She was like on a roller coaster, so did not have any stability in order to know or be able to dream because she was afraid of just making it through. And her soul beaten and abused and stolen many years ago. That pretty much says it all. Um, Dipped in diamonds, covered in pearls, meaning, but still very much a child, meaning it doesn't matter. The material things did not take away from the fact of how she was feeling. It, the material things never could replace the love and security she wanted. Different faces and different places, yet same circumstances. The repeating wheel and the attraction, looking for love in all the wrong places. So the world around me grows into the new skin of maturity, meaning she's looking around her and other people seem to be able to adjust to their surroundings in a way that is appearing to have less internal turmoil or external. People are starting to learn the process and look like they're all doing great. And they're able to let go of their scars and the reminders of their past because that's what they look like. They look like they've been able to do that. Um, I'm just not able to shed and let go. So, being able to release. She didn't know how to do that. I don't think anybody is kind of like born knowing how to do that. I think we're taught how obviously we can't hold more in our hands than what our hands are able to hold, but when it comes to our internal selves, I guess I didn't understand the process of being able to let things go. Um, I didn't know anything about visualization. I didn't know anything about, like, nothing to suggest in my life how to let go. What was that anyway? And how can you let go of something that's inside of you? Really? It didn't make any sense when I would hear or have people tell me that. Like, just let go of the past, just let it go. How? It didn't make any sense, seriously. So it's, I think letting go involves you understanding that that story is not you. I mean, because we're multidimensional, or because I can remember myself back then, okay? Obviously, I have grown and changed. It's like a metamorphosis every single day, all the time. So it still didn't mean, though, it still doesn't mean that you can just let it go by recognizing that, I guess. But it's seeing the circumstance outside of yourself and just being, for me anyway. I shouldn't say that because it's not always, even today, easy to let go of things, especially if they're still pressing. You know, if they're still, well, you know, if you, I guess I don't really want to cross so much into this and Mecca, but on the same path of the Mech of Maslow, it's, you know, what needs are not are met or are not met will, you know, help you figure out what you need to focus on, right? And you're not going to be really focusing on what you can let go of if you don't have food on your plate, or you don't know where you're going to live tomorrow, or you're a scared little child. So that is not something you're even thinking about. So I would say you almost have to come into a place of stability to even think about the possibility of what it would mean to let go of your past. So, I mean, if you can even call it your past in a way, because you're not the same person. So, like I said, I give her, every one of them, the Lani's of the different chapters, you know, and now the Leilani's of the new. They're all different people. There's one thing that's remaining the same, and that is deeper. So my skin clings to me. It's full and heavy with nails, all of it, you know. It's all about letting go. Static sheep, unwilling to let go of your favorite jeans. That's cute. It's an endless battle dragging my skin. That is for sure. It ends up being so heavy every single day, just heavy on your back, the top part of your back, in your chest, like not being able to breathe. You can't breathe. You know, when you have all these burdens and suffering that's so plain, like it was yesterday. When do you ever come to this point where you're like, okay, I can just let it all go? You know, like it, but you can. It's literally that easy to just breathe and transform it when you start realizing that they're all your lessons, and all the negative is just as much, well, rightfully there as all the positive. It all is about expansion. And when you figure out what it is you're supposed to learn from the lessons, is, you know, it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. We didn't sign up for it to be easy. Some of us signed up for it to be extremely hard. But it gets easier when you learn the game. You know, I really, I have to say this whole section about, it's as if I were obese. I don't even, I mean, I will be, I don't like it. I want it, I'm just going to take it all out. Like, because, like, I understand what I'm saying. So, if everybody here, or if I was the only human being on this planet and I was obese, right? Like, there wouldn't be a problem, right? Like, I wouldn't have any complex about the way I look, or I wouldn't care. Nobody else, I wouldn't have anybody's opinion about me. And if I were to see my reflection, it would only be me. And of course, I'd be excited and in love with what I was seeing, because I was it. I'm the only one, you know, so it wouldn't matter what I looked like. It wouldn't, nothing would matter. But I don't know. I just, it's like that. I don't like that I use that. And if everyone else around me was, then we would obviously not have a complex either. The only complex is the fact that we are not supporting each other's differences. Like, you're beautiful, your body's beautiful no matter what. So it's kind of like, my story's beautiful no matter what. Your story's beautiful no matter what. It's only because we have been, like, manipulated to believe my story isn't beautiful or your story isn't beautiful because there's tragedy and chaos, or because it's been perfect, or because, you know, whatever. It's like we're afraid to be who we really are because we're afraid of what somebody else is going to think of us. And the whole thing is that it only really matters what you think. I mean, in all reality, it only matters what you think, because what you think is going to reflect to the rest of the world. And that's what you'll get back. So I understand what I was saying, but I just don't like that I said it like that. I've been all different sizes, but some of the most beautiful people that I know in the whole world are what some would consider obese. And I just think we're all wearing skin suits. You know, there's we're all human beings. There's somebody being the human. And I ended up slipping in this body, and who knows, maybe we were designers and we picked them out ourselves. Who knows? But I see people as beautiful from the inside out. Um, and I also said, I find it absurd to compare my wounds and torments of my life with someone who can truly change. And the thing is that why are we asking people to change? And if that's what somebody wants to do, it doesn't always mean that they uh, physically can. I mean, there's reasons for everything beyond our comprehension. You cannot just look at a person and think that they can change. I mean, what if they don't want to? What if they love who they are already? It's your problem, not theirs. Anyway, I don't know why I'm just saying it like that. Um, and I wouldn't say upon introduction you will never know, because plenty of people know upon introduction from me, and always has, um, that most often I'll, I, I go with the flow until I go with the flow until there's pushback, or there's, you know, uh, and then if there's static, I will speak my mind. I don't have a problem with that, but I haven't always done it in the most pleasant manner, that's for sure. And it hasn't always, because I was in so much pain, you can't really, it's kind of like that on your shoulders weight of burdens, like you can't breathe, and you feel, and I know for sure there has been instances, because I'm very, my intuition is pretty solid, and I know when somebody is being rude or mean or like unthoughtful, fake, all of it. It's my, and so it used to be really hard for me to sit with it and not call it right away. And I mean, I don't know if it's so bad to call it right away, because at least you're being honest. However, does it even matter? That's the whole thing. Is it going to ruin your day if you call somebody out on them not liking you, or them having a different of opinion? I don't know. Probably it's going to help your day go better if you quietly send them some compassion from inside and some love. Like, I know you don't trust me, maybe. A little inside reassurance. but I'm not here to hurt you, you know. Protect yourself though. If you are feeling uncomfortable, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to stay. You have choices. Where do you want your power to be? I can change myself with all of my surroundings, but I must always pick the brightest of colors. And the thing is, I think that back then, it was more, she's really still very not sure of her own. She knows her light, but she doesn't want other people to know her light in some way. She's like nervous about it. I don't know. Because she's embarrassed, like, I must always pick the brightest of colors. No, you love the brightest of colors. You like the cute shit. It's okay. That's who you are. If, it's not like standing out is my way of having no one take notice. Standing out and lashing out whenever anyone crosses my path the wrong way. And it's all about protection because I want to stand out to be me, not to overpower anybody or not to like take the center of attention because I really don't even like being the center of attention. I prefer to just work quietly, like be able to put all what's in my brain into work on, my passion. But at the same time, the lashing out, I think, is just from so long. I mean, you'll find out. It's just so long of not being heard, not being respected, not being valued, just valued for who I was. Like, not having, like, that respect as a human being and from such a small child. So, of course, I was lashing out. Of course, I was trying to push people away who were going to hurt me because I have a very heightened intuition and it developed very quickly because of the situations that I was put in. It was a gift, although a curse at times. And I could make people feel as ugly as I was because the truth is, like, I would take a lot because I understand people. I understand what they're going through. I try really hard, or I was trying really hard. Now it's not so hard. I just don't get involved like that. Emotionally connected to something that's not within the right energy. So, I think making people feel as ugly as I was is more about if you're going to hurt me, watch out because I know you. I know the truth. I know who you are. I've been paying attention. Maybe you haven't. It was like that. But at the same time, I didn't want to hurt anyone. And I kept saying, I would say, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. Like, please don't do that. Please don't be bringing down my energy. But I didn't say it like that. you know, um, I have no qualms about embarrassing others or finding fault in anything less than my warped persona of perfection. And the truth is, like, the perfection thing is and has been a major issue for a long time. I think it got a lot worse. I don't know, it was my way of control, you know. Now I understand that I have boundaries. I have certain things that I like certain ways, and that's just the way that makes me feel comfortable and whole. And it's okay. I'm okay with it, and I communicate that. And that's like what the difference is more about the communication than it is about the need to have things be a particular way. Because I do in order for my flow. Because it's just, I need the flow. I need it to be relaxed. And that helps me be relaxed when I'm able to have things a certain way I like them. And if others know that in a way that's conducive to them feeling safe, then everything's good, safe and respected, which makes communication pretty important. She says, well, that's today. Now what about tomorrow? I don't know. All I really do is talk about yesterday. Talking about yesterday is what I'm best at, you know. She's just really putting herself down, and when she's saying this stuff, and talking about yesterday is what I'm best at, like all those kind of things. It's like, I think you have to understand that a lot of people had told her to stop talking about it. But at the same time, it was healing her every time she did. So she was clearing, she was cleansing, she was releasing over and over and over and over and over by telling her story over and over and over and over and over. And whoever was telling her to stop telling her story, it was because they felt like she was standing in her power every time. That's what gave her her power. That's what walking in her truth gave her her power, even as a child. So anytime somebody told her to stop telling her story, it was only because they felt insecure or they didn't want to be found out themselves. Lots of reasons, but not because it was unhealthy or anything like that. And it's funny because she says most of the time I'm just talk. And it's kind of hilarious because she wasn't like that at all. I think what she's talking about is big dreams that, I don't know, she tried to pursue and they didn't work out in the way that she thought they would. And, but to be honest, there was lots of situations that were in the way of her, I shouldn't say they were situations in the way. They were presented because she wasn't on the right path. Also, she says nobody would believe her though, and it's like, that makes sense because so many people didn't or tried to make other people not believe her. Adults, even when she was a child. Too many. Um, it's all just so scary to think that I can. And I think that's the biggest thing for anybody. Just thinking that you can is scary because then you have to do something about it. You can't, I mean, thinking that you can is great, but it's not as great as having action behind it. A plan. I think part of the problem has been as long as it's all just stuck in my head, it's less than real. Isn't that the way it is for so many, though? I mean, don't talk about it. It will go away. I'm telling you, that's the only thing that helped me to be able to recognize today for what it is and all its like amazing miracles and magic and actually being able to manifest the life that you want. All of it is all because I kept talking, I kept telling my truth, I kept sharing my story with my friends and my family and anybody who would ever listen. Yeah, but once it's on paper, there's no denying it all truly happened, because, I'm sure that there's people that I've touched their lives in one way or another over the years by sharing my story, or Lani's story. We're making my story together right now. But I think in this way, it's really going to help a lot of people. I'm not trying to have expectations on anything because I'm just going with the flow, but I'm saying it doesn't matter because it's only one person is all it needs to help. And no matter how far I've come from her, Lani at 30, I have so far to go. And doing this is growth exponentially. And I feel like doing it this way, it's not just me that has the growth exponentially, it's all of us together. So I'm excited, but it's going to be hard, obviously, because I've had to go a couple places today and I'm going to have tears in my eyes every day, but that's okay. Maybe more people will learn how to understand that emotions are amazing when they're used in the proper format. Anyway, so love and light.